What's something that we haven't talked about yet? We've got a few more minutes before we get to our picks of the week. I hope you all came with a pick.
Oh God, I don't know what that is.
No, pick of the week.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
All right.
Did you send out homework?
Yeah, I did. I sent an email.
Okay.
Come on, jeez. All right, but first, what's something we haven't talked about yet that you all want to talk about?
I mean, I think what we had talked about talking about, like what we had talked about talking about when we talked about this a long time ago. We talked about how we came to be at RK&K, and
which is an interesting story.
Which is an interesting story, and like how Rick feels about the two people sitting to his right.
Okay. All right.
I feel like that's an interesting story.
I will allow it. Let's go. All right. Let's do it. Tell the story.
All right. So I'm
Once
coming
upon a time in a faraway land.
Far, far away. About 4 years ago, I started a conversation right about this time 4 years ago with Rick Adams, Scott Crumley, and Karen Cale. So 3 directors here at the firm. I'd been in a traffic engineering position, and I really had a desire to focus on pedestrian safety and the things I was talking about, like not so much focusing on the needs of my clients who are all private, largely private at least. I wanted to do more with my projects. So, I was putting my feelers out, and I got connected here with RK&K. And it was a new opportunity. I'm the first bike ped person at the firm that's my job. I solely focus on bicycle and pedestrian work. And that was I guess I would say a risk in a way, to bring somebody in and have them focus solely on this multimodalism of the practice. But there was certainly a lot of energy around the room, and I could tell that there was this special X factor about the teams here at RK&K. So I thought, you know what, this is a great opportunity. They extended the offer, and I couldn't say no. So it was very exciting to jump in, get to work with Rick, and work on a lot of really cool projects around the region. It was a learning experience for me in some ways, because I was jumping into this new world that I needed to get to know a lot of people, and I needed to make sure that I was there representing the interests of the firm. So I literally poured my heart and soul into making my position the most fruitful that it could be. It was probably the most rewarding when we went after the DC Protected Bike Lanes project and won that project head-to-head with a lot of competition. So that really said, hey, we have the good and right team. We're going to build something successful. So, like I said, I jumped in head first and was really focused on getting to know people, and that's where Melissa comes in. So
that's a scary moment. Yeah.
So Rick says to me one day, hey, there's this young lady, Melissa. She's leading an office with a planning and design firm. They focus on bike and ped. We haven't done a lot of work with them in the past, but would love to team with them more. So you should look her up and connect, just like you're doing with all these other people.
I didn't even know this part of the story.
So I don't even know how I reached out, but I just got in touch with Melissa and said, hey,
let's be friends.
Let's go get a coffee.
Befriend you.
So Melissa gets back to me, hey, I'm going to be in DC on this random day. Why don't we grab coffee over by Union Station? So we sat down for probably about an hour and started talking, and it was unbelievable. We had this connection and all these same common interests that it was like, yeah, we need to find a way to work together at some point. Well, fast forward maybe a year and a half after we met, we just kept the conversation going, kept trying to find opportunities to work together. And Melissa started to get into a place where she was ready to make a move. And I said, well, give me your resume. I'll share it with people here at RK&K. But wait, don't share your resume unless you want to work at RK&K, because we're going to hire you because you're amazing. So that is where she came to be at RK&K, and I'll let her tell the rest.
Okay. Well, I think first, let's back up just a smidge. So Nathan and I are now friends. Mm-hmm. We do the coffees. We do the grabbing of the drinks. And I actually had a really bad back injury and landed myself in the hospital. And somehow, I don't know how I told you about that. We must have had something scheduled, and I was just like, I kind of have a cane and not getting around really well. So he was like, oh, well, I have Ravens tickets. do you want to go to a Ravens game? So I met Scott Crumley, and Nathan took me to a Ravens game. I don't even know who else was there. Were there other RK&K people there?
A couple Fairfax folks.
Were there?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't know these people. I'm like, oh, cool. We're going to a Ravens game. I'm not saying that sealed the deal or anything. But I thought that was very genuine and nice, and met Scott Crumley, and he was just such a nice guy. It was like one of the first times I think I'd been out of the house without like assistance. So it was really great. And then I think we got more serious about our conversation after that. After kind of like meeting Scott, and I had met Rick before, like working a team on projects and a couple other folks, and so yeah, when Nathan said, why don't you come in and bring your resume? I mean, I brought a portfolio because that's what landscape architects do, so I laid out a thing, and I brought that in and met with, I think, 200 people when I came in.
I think we saw the portfolio and we're like, what is this? We don't do this in engineering.
I remember Melinda came in and she said, we've never seen anything like this before.
Right.
So pretty excited about it. I was like, okay. And I'm in the back of my mind, I'm going like, well, I'm a landscape architect. Like, this is what we do.
Right.
Like, we do the graphic design. Like, this is normal. But I'm glad you guys think it's special. So I like that. And John DePagne was in the room, and he was just like, I don't understand why you want to work at RK&K.
Right.
Like, why do you want to be this landscape architect all by yourself and all these engineers? Like, why do you want to do it? And I had also given that some thought and asked myself that question. And I said to him, I don't know if you remember, but I said, John, I really like being the purple fish in the gray fish pond.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he was like, well, okay. Just
Perfect fit.
So, yeah, so I know that you all probably thought, again, scary, risky. Who is this crazy person?
Not at all.
No. But, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Tim, going back to the beginning, like Nathan said when we first met him, I think, again, it was, and Melissa alluded to earlier, like, we have a lot of experts in different areas. And we saw our clients and our communities asking for bicycle and pedestrian facilities and complete streets. And we have people skilled in that, but we said we really need somebody that this is their passion, because we have people that are passionate about bridges, and we're passionate about interchanges and passionate about streams. But we needed somebody who was passionate about bike and ped. And it's funny because when we interviewed him, it's like, that's exactly what he said. And it was really a no-brainer. I said, this is perfect person. And he started, and he certainly has shown that is his passion. So that was like kind of the first domino. And then Melissa's just built on to that with the same passion. Like I said, we're giving our clients those people that are passionate about bike and ped facilities, complete streets.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
That
Great
we are.
story.
Yeah.
There it is.
There
The
it is.
origin story. That was like a prequel almost, because we told the story at the end. And
Yeah,
so,
we prequeled.